everybody, it's episode 64, of course. For any Nintendo fan, you know 64 as the Nintendo 64. Great console. I never had one, but the games look so great. And Super Mario 3D All-Stars 2. 3 games in 1. Oh, man, I wish I had a Switch. But we're not here to talk about Nintendo. We're not here to talk about Mario, even though some great games out there. Really great games. We're here to talk about sports. Oh, man, we have a lot to talk about, as we always do. We have 7 topics. Yes, 7 topics. So let's do it right now. Try to go as fast as we can. First of all, UFC 253 started off last Saturday night. Akeem Dawodu versus Zubaira Tukhugov. And Dawodu won by decision after 3 rounds, 5-minute rounds. He is now 12-1-1 in his career. He was taken down once by Zubaira, but he had more strikes and significant strikes. Next up, Kelvin Vieira versus Sijara Eubanks. And Vieira won the fight, which was ruled by a decision. Kelvin had more strikes, but Sijara had more significant strikes. Vieira took down Eubanks twice. Vieira 11-1, Eubanks 7-5. Kai Kara France against Brandon Royval. Royval won in the second round with a submission. He also knocked down France twice. He had more strikes and significant strikes than France, and it's his 11th win of his career. 11 wins in the UFC for him. Then Dominic Reyes against Jan Blachowicz. I hope I pronounced that right, but Jan won by a KO, or should I say Yan won? I think it's Yan. Had more strikes and significant strikes than Reyes. 27 wins so far. Dominated that fight. Sheer domination. I believe it was second round, which he knocks him out. It was great, but the big story, big fight was Israel Adesanya. Oh boy, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Against Paulo Costa. And Adesanya won in the second round with a knockout KO. Israel dominated the majority fight. Adesanya limited Costa to 12 strikes while getting 55. This was by way to determine the middleweight champion, and he is undefeated now, 20-0. Definitely crazy. A lot of excitement out there in the octagon this season. 253. You know we'll be getting to 254 in just a minute, when it comes. But look at Costa just struggling out there, and the win going to Adesanya. What a great job right there at the UFC Fight Island, I believe. So next is NASCAR. Let's continue to keep up this quick pace. The South Point 400 went to overtime where Kurt Busch was the winner. Tied for Dale Jarrett on the all-time list for wins. Denny Hamlin took home stage 1. Chase Elliott took home stage 2. Jimmy Johnson lost a tire on lap 236. John Hunter Nemechek wrecked on lap 250. And William Byron hit the wall late in the race, which forced overtime. Of course, William Byron is out of the postseason, of course. But anyways, those were the last 2 laps, and Kurt Busch just held them all in check. Second place, couldn't really do anything. But there was Denny Hamlin riding low in the last lap, and Kurt Busch held him off. Great job right there by Busch. But Austin Dillon, what's he doing there in 32nd place? I don't know. He is in the playoffs as well, of course. Had that big win at Texas, but otherwise just has not been the season he has dreamt of. Look at him sitting in 12th place. So with that, Denny Hamlin, 3rd place. Kevin Harvick was in 2nd for the postseason. Brad Keselowski 4th. Martin Truex Jr. 5th. Chase Elliott 6th. Joey Wiggins 7th. Alex Bowman 8th, I believe. But anyways, playoff chase. Kurt Busch has advanced. Austin Dillon, of course, 12th place. Kevin Harvick 2nd. Field Triggs down to 8 after these next 2 races at the super speedway Talladega. Gonna be next race. Gonna be interesting. Very interesting. Next are the Cleveland Indians, team leaders of the 2020 season, including this guy right there, Jose Ramirez, 292 average, 17 home runs, 46 RBIs. Cesar led us with 66 hits. And Jose also had 10 stolen bases. And of course, for pitching, you can't talk about pitching without talking about Shane Bieber. 8 wins, 122 strikeouts, 163 ERA, leading the entire American League. MIB Game of the Year prediction was correct about him winning Cy Young. I am a genius. No, I'm not, but still. Whip. He led with whip. Walks and hits per inning with 87 or .87. And Brett Hand had 16 saves. Oh boy, I tell you, like the final 5 games of the season, starting off with the Indians and White Sox, we swept them 4 games to none. Jordan Lupo walk-off home run in Game 3. Jose, go-ahead double in the 8th inning of Game 4. Then the Indians and Pirates, last 3 games of the season. And the Indians ended up winning thanks to a big rally in the first game. By the way, we won the series 2 games to 1. We have the 4th seed of the postseason. Of course, definitely going to be an interesting postseason too. Because the Cleveland Indians, of course, got on a tear in the postseason. Absolute tear. And looking at it, that was our 6th consecutive win. By the way, the Indians faced with a 35-25 record. Of course, Tommy Maroon went 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs in the second game for Pittsburgh. Carlos Santana, Franmil Reyes each hit home runs in the last game of the year. But this was a great finish. Cesar Hernandez, here he comes. And it's a ball. Oh, here comes the wideout thinking 2. Safe is a call. Of course, I am improvising this announcing right here. But anyways, here's Cesar with second, or with a run, second full count. Here's the payoff. Swung on. One drive, fair ball. Indians win it. They won't stop winning. They are unbelievable, and unbelievable they are. How about that? 35-25 record. Second in the American League Central. Only the Twins were better. Only the Twins. But anyways, just absolutely crazy. And now time for the MLB postseason preview. Strange year, strange postseason. This year, 8 teams in each league will make the playoffs. Of course, all that stuff on the left side of your screen. But anyways, the playoffs will continue as they usually do once we finish the wild card series, which is starting today. Best of 3 series, all 3 games played at one team stadium. Of course, no fans. What else did you expect? And the MLB will have a bubble, or a few of them actually. No fans will be allowed. Games are neutral. They're located in Trash Town, Arlington, San Diego, Los Angeles. These bubbles will appear once the postseason reaches the divisional round. AL teams will be in NL stadiums and NL teams in AL stadiums. ALCS at Petco, NLCS at Globe Life, and Globe Life Field hosting the World Series. It's its first season too, by the way. Anyways, postseason predictions. There it is. Rays are going to beat the Blue Jays. We're going to beat the Yankees. Twins are going to beat the Sign Steelers. I believe they're winning right now. A's are going to beat the White Sox. And a wild card, Dodgers beating the Brewers. Padres going to beat the Cardinals. Cubs are going to beat the Marlins. And the Reds are going to beat the Braves. How about that? They're going to beat the Braves. Because Trevor Bauer, he's a great pitcher. He is really something. ALDS, I think we're going to lose to Tampa. And Tampa will be playing Minnesota in the LCS. Tampa wins that. Dodgers will play the Cubs in the LCS. And the Dodgers will reach the World Series. Dodgers win the World Series, in my opinion. By the way, 2 on, 2 out so far in the postseason game between the Houston Sign Steelers and the Minnesota Twins. And honestly, I never thought I'd say I'd be rooting for the Twins in my life, but I'm rooting for the Twins right now. So we don't have to deal with the Sign Steelers. So, of course, NBA playoffs is narrowing down. Celtics against the Heat. Heat won the series 4 games to 2. It's all over. Miami has advanced. They won Game 4, 112-109. Boston stayed alive with a 121-108 game. And Miami wrapped up the series 125-113. And Tyler Hero, off the bench, 37 points to win Game 4. And Jason Tatum had 31 points and 10 rebounds in Game 5. And then Bam Adebayo, 32 points. Bam is a really great basketball player. But anyways, the real story to me is that this is the first time ever that the Miami Heat are reaching the NBA Finals without LeBron and D-Wade on their team. How about that? But anyway, speaking of LeBron, how well did the Lakers do? The Lakers won against the Nuggets. 4 games to 1. 4 games to 1. They won games 4 and 3. There's LeBron after winning. He's just I swear, he's probably like, I've been here so many times. Nothing new. AD had 34 points in Game 4. LeBron 38 points and a triple-double in that game. This is the 10th time in his career that LeBron is reaching the NBA Finals. He's been in the NBA Finals 9 times out of the last 10 years. Of course, was also there in 2007 for us. 35 years old, still the most dominant player in the league. By the way, looking right here, here's the all-time list. LeBron is tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time leader in points, third all-time. Only behind him, Sam Jones. And, of course, the legendary Bill Russell standing up top with 12 NBA Finals appearances. How about that? Anyways, LeBron will be 50 years old, still best player of the week. Quick NBA Finals, quick NBA Finals preview. Gonna improvise this. Los Angeles should win. Who is gonna stop LeBron and AD? Tyler Hero's great. Goran Dragic's great. Duncan Robinson's great. Bam Adebayo's great. They're not as great as LeBron and Anthony Davis. LeBron will make them look bad out there. Unfortunately, it will not be a Lakers-Celtics NBA Finals, of course, due to the fact that Boston lost. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a great NBA Finals. Starts tomorrow night. Channel 5, ABC, of course. I'm pretty sure none of us are still aware that basketball has been going on. Of course, everything got thrown off with the virus. But anyways, that being said, time to go Tommy's picks. I have a lot of time for Tommy's picks, but I'm still going to buzz right by him. Home beat St. Vincent St. Mary. They're still number one. Massillon won that game as well. Oh, man, I just realized that I did not highlight the teams that I picked. But luckily, I do have everything on this piece of paper. But anyways, Euclid beat Medina out there. Big win out there for the Panthers, I believe, Euclid Panthers, and the Medina Battling Bees falling. And Hudson beats Highland, of course. Highland was right in the entire game, though. And Brecksville pulling off a big win against the Stone Monroe Falls Bulldogs. Aurora beat the Tar out of Cuyahoga Falls, 34-6. Barberton finally picks up their first win this season. Wadsworth has now lost 3 in a row, while Northonia beats the everlasting out of North Royalton, 62-14. Revere undefeated still. Talmadge won. Copley also undefeated. NFL Thursday night, Free Willy won. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's not looking like Ryan Fitzception out there. I know, and the interview was great as well. And then fire Dan Quinn now. Did you see what happened? He blew a 10-plus point lead out there to the Bears. They had to bring in Nick Foles for the comeback because Mitchell Trubisky is not the best. No offense to anyone from Mentor who is watching this. No offense. Anyways, now Nick Foles is starting Mitchell Trubisky bench. Bills prevent a 28-3 comeback against the Rams with a big drive. Josh Allen, he's a quarterback, or he's a running back disguised as a quarterback who could also throw. And the Browns won. They came back against the football team, and we will not lose to a team whose name is the football team. And we're not undefeated. We're above 500. We're 2-1. I don't believe it. It's crazy. Titans beat the Vikings 31-30. Patriots beat the Raiders 36-20. Raiders get their first loss this season. Giants destroy the Giant losers. 49ers destroy Giant losers 36-9. And then the Bungles and the Eagles tied. What? They tied. Doug Peterson's going to get a lot of heat. And, of course, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, if he's watching this, which I doubt he's watching this, but if Jalen Hurts is watching this, I think that he's going to be starting next week for the Eagles. If he doesn't, Doug Peterson is not thinking correctly. Steelers beat Fire Bill O'Brien. I mean the Houston Texans, 28-21. Of course, all three Watt brothers played. Panthers beat the Chargers 21-16 because the Chargers forgot how to pull off a hook and ladder play on the last game of the season, or last play of the game. Colts beat the Jets 36-7. 2 defensive touchdowns for Indianapolis. Not to mention, Phillip Rivers had his 400th career touchdown pass. Seahawks beat Dallas in a great game, 38-31. Dak Prescott had an incredible escape from the pocket, only to throw a pick, but still pretty incredible. And Tampa Bay beat Denver 28-10. The Lions somehow beat the Cardinals somehow, 26-23. Packers beat the Saints on Sunday night, 37-3. Drew Brees is starting to look a little old out there. Quite a shame. He's such a great quarterback. And then the Chiefs beat the Ravens on the road, 34-20. Great game out there on Monday night last night. Week 3 fancy picks. Kyler Murray, 31.7 points. Aaron Jones, oh man, Mike Evans did not get 20 points. Neither did the Niners, but still did well. Chris Boswell only had 8 points. But Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb are my men. 28 points, 25 points. And unfortunately, Julio Jones and George Kittle did not play due to injuries. But anyways, looking back at the high school football, I went 7-4 this week. 8 points. Lock of the week, Aurora won. Upset of the week, Highland lost. I was also incorrect by predicting Stowe, Wadsworth, and Twinsburg. Excuse me. This was a good week, but on the script I said this was good week. What? This was good week? Oh my God, I'm so dumb. It's supposed to say this was a good week, but I've done better in the past. And I'm 31-16, 37 total points this season. And by the way, season's ending next week, last game of the regular season. NFL, 10-5-1, 12 points. Lock it upset. We're correct with New England and Tennessee. I'm 32-15 and 1 with 36 points. My fantasy team had 135.5 points. Could have been more if I didn't pick Julio Jones or George Kittle. What was I thinking? I don't know. Derrick Henry and Kyler Murray were my leaders. But anyways, 135.5 points there. And my real fantasy team at 135.7. I still lost. I bet Steven Gostkowski. 25 points, 16-point differential. Not to mention, I had Odell Beckham with 9.9. Mark Andrews, who has been awful for me this season, 5.5 points. Anyways, and DK Metcalf forgot to score a touchdown. He caught a pass, celebrating, and then the defender comes in and whoop, the ball goes out. That's a touchback. Every fantasy owner is screaming at their TVs. I was screaming at my TV. Oh, man, DK Metcalf needs to learn not to celebrate too early. Tommy Specs, we're going to go at this really quickly. Benedictine against St. Edward. St. Edward winning. Avon Lake against Stolen Step Falls. Avon Lake wins. Medina against Solon. I got the Battling Bees winning. Hudson against No Row. Lock of the week, going to be the Explorers. Brecksville against Wadsworth. The Brecksville Bees should continue their hot streak. Wadsworth, of course, dropped 3 in a row. Still against Nordonia. Nordonia fresh off a big win, but still going to win on the road. We're against Twinsburg. Aurora been doing well. Got pick Greenman. Copley against Cuyahoga Falls. How's Copley not ranked? They're undefeated. They're doing well. Got pick Copley. Highland against Barberton. Highland has been doing themselves really well. Tough schedule. Now here's Barberton, an easier schedule. I was talking with the players today. They said that they're ready for it. Got to pick the Hornets. That's right, good guys. Roosevelt gets Talmadge. Think the Rough Riders are going to win. They're at home. And my upset of the week is Revere. While Revere is undefeated, they are on the road. And it's an unranked matchup. So I'm going to go with Revere. NFL picks will go like this. Jets against the Broncos. Got to pick the Jets. Stink. Football team against the Ravens. Lock of the week. Baltimore should beat the football team up to shreds. Titans against Steelers. Well, that's obviously changed. Of course, for those that don't know, 8 Titans players have tested positive for COVID. And it looks like the NFL season is going to have a giant wrench in their schedule. Well, it was only a matter of time until an outbreak came and has to happen to Tennessee. And it looks like this season might be on hold, or their season. But remember, the MLB was still able to do that despite massive outbreaks in Miami and St. Louis. And still, if they play, I am picking. I'm changing, by the way, of course. I didn't know till today. I'm changing my pick if they play Sunday, which is a big if. Going to pick the Steelers over the Titans. That's right. Not the Titans, but Pittsburgh this time. This was changed because of COVID. Minnesota also quarantining. Fire Bill O'Brien, still my upset of the week. But anyway, it's time to go back fast-paced. Hopefully we'll still be playing. Tampa Bay against the Chargers. Tampa Bay going to win. Free Willy against Seattle. Seattle's just going to cream them. Losing Lions against the Saints. Saints better pick it up because if they lose to Detroit, that would be depressing. Cowboys against the Browns. I feel like our joyride is going to end. Dallas is going to win. Bungles against the Jaguars. Going to pick the Jaguars. Joe Burrow and the Bungles have had such poor luck this season. The Bears against the Colts. Nick Foles is looking good. Got to go with the Nick Foles and the Bears. Panthers against Cardinals. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald. Just a few weapons out there. Picking AZ. Rams against Giant Losers. Rams should easily win. Raiders against the Bills. Great game. Bills Mafia wins. Chiefs against the Patriots. Gonna pick Kansas City, 49ers against the Eagles. Die, Eagles, die. Cry, Eagles, cry. Cry more, because Jalen Hurts will probably be benched. And San Francisco's gonna win. Not to mention Carson Wentz is horrible. Packers against Fire Dan Quinn. Packers are gonna be down by like 2 touchdowns or something like that, and they'll still win. Week 4 fantasy team looking like this. Russell Wilson against Free Willy. Another Free Willy. Foe will be Chris Carson. Of course, you have Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews. Of course, I don't know why I have Mark Andrews there. If I'm always whining and crying about Mark Andrews, but maybe he'll do me well. I've sent a trade to trade away Mark Andrews, but still. Zeke Elliott, running back number 2. Cooper Kupp and Tyreek the Freak Hill as my receivers. Mason Crosby as my kicker. And the 49ers defense to wrap it up. Second week in a row, I'm going with the 49ers defense. But anyways, we did it. 7 topics, 22 minutes. That's a record time. Yes, sir. That's all we have for the rest of the day. Now I can really wind down and really use my inside voice. Man, oh man, that was fun. You know, it's also fun. I mean, it's not fun to wear a mask, but it is fun to save lives, and it is fun to actually be nice to people and respect one another and love one another. Because with what's been going on around the country lately, what's been going on in the world, cannot stress that out enough. If you wear a mask, you save lives. You will not suffocate to death. Studies have proven so. You'll be safe. You'll be fine. You'll be great. And you know what will make you just as great? If you watch the Tommy Maroon Sports Show next week, right here on this beautiful channel of WCTV.